Batman Forever. What's there to be said about it? Well, it's the fourth film in the series, in the Batman film series. I really don't know what to say about Batman the Animated Series. I don't know what to say about this film. Except that the film was highly pushed to be one of the greatest Batman films ever made. But instead we got a nice cheap knockoff of the other two Batman films. Not directed by Tim Burton, but by a different director. And missing one extra villain. The Mad Hatter. Now, the Mad Hatter didn't really make any appearances in live action except for the Gotham series. There were rumors that the Hatter was meant to show up in the Batman film that will be starring Robert Pattinson. But with word of the Riddler and other villains showing up, we won't possibly see the Mad Hatter in live action for a long time. Which is sort of sad, because I wanted to see a live-action DC Alice, sort of, in the DC EU. In the DC EU, or the DC Cinematic Universe. Bum, bum, bum. So now this is a what-if video, saying what if Jervis, Tetch, and Alice were in Batman Forever? This is Alternate Timelines, Bad August Edition. The movie would begin somewhat the same, as we would see the Riddler's origin story as a young boy play in the background. We would then hear the Riddler narrating in the background. Yes, youth. The time when everyone had a carefree choice of their destinies. Well, except for me. I am Edward Nygma, aka the Riddler. And riddle me this, riddle me that. Who didn't have a chance to live a normal childhood? If you're guessing me, you answered the riddle correctly. I never got a chance to live a normal life. My father was sort of not the best father. When my mother was nice to me, my father always thought of me as a weak link. The Riddler continues his story, flashing us back to his childhood when they went to an abandoned amusement park. This is where we would see young Alice and Jervis Tetch for the first time. They were just running out of a hall of mirrors, which led out of a Riddler machine at the end. They tell the young Jervis not to go in, as the room in there includes an old Riddler machine that's been abandoned for years. The Riddler just says 2 words. Fragis de Calu Calais. And then walks away. The Riddler in my timeline has a fascination with Alice in Wonderland. As the Riddler walks into the House of Mirrors, as Edward Nygma walks into the House of Mirrors. Hey, who's narrating this origin story? Look, Riddler, I'm the alternate timeline's narrator, not you. You're only doing this because this is your origin story. Continue on. Thank you. Hey, don't tell me how to do my job. After Nygma's father finds him in the House of Mirrors, he tells him we're going home. as the Riddler finds a cane by the Riddler machine and knocks his father out cold. You said I was always weak. Well, guess what? I'm not weak anymore. The young Riddler would go crazy. Now this isn't Batman's first year of crime fighting, so he would notice the killing spree happening at the fair. Edward Nygma is about to kill his mother when Batman swoops in. Batman stops the young Riddler. And he's checked into Arkham Asylum Sanitary Prison. As he's checked into Arkham Asylum's prison for the sane and incapable for society. Commissioner Gordon asks Batman why he brought in a kid. He's too young to be locked up in Arkham. But then Batman shows him what happened to him. But then Batman shows Commissioner Gordon what happened at the amusement park. He shows him this. He shows the crime scene, the scenes of the Riddler's attack. Great Scott! Commissioner Gordon is in shock that a normal child would be able to pull off such a crime spree that hasn't happened since. The Riddler is surprised that no one has been able to pull off such a crime. Not since the Red Hood gang was stopped 2 years ago. This killing spree actually happened in Batman's second year of crime fighting, not his first year. As Batman already stopped the Red Hood murders. As Batman put a stop to the Red Hood gang 2 years ago. As Batman already put a stop to the Red Hood gang, which would create the Joker 2 years ago. Then we cut to 2 years after that, as the Riddler would escape from Arkham Asylum Sanitarium. As the Riddler escaped from Arkham Asylum Sanitarium, the timeline plays the same. Then David Lowery, who's engaged to Alice, who we'll meet later, is tied up in a chair, strapped in chains. Lowery asks where he is when a voice appears on screen. Who are you? John Lowery. I work for Wayne Enterprises. But then he makes sure he lies. But then the Riddler checks his truth or lie machine, which is actually the riddle machine. The Riddler then notices that he's lying, saying, "Nope, wrong answer. Yes, your name is David Lowery. Your last name is Lowery, but your real name is John Lowery. You're engaged to Alice Clawford, if I remember." Alice. I remember her too well. You two are friends? We were friends in my younger years. You're Edward Nygma. You're the one who was convicted for the Riddler murders. I'll be asking the questions here, not you. The Riddler then asks the question, "What do you do for a living?" "I work for Wayne Enterprises. I told you." That was a lie. You used to work for Wayne Enterprises. Now you sell weapons to the highest bidder to make a quick buck on the black market. Surprised by this, the Riddler begins to mock David. Saying the same Alice in Wonderland poem that we heard in the opening scene. "O Fragis Day, Callooh Callay, won't you join the dance?" The Riddler then the Riddler asks him the final question. Who is the Batman? David says he doesn't know, and then the Riddler notices that he's telling the truth. Well, thanks for playing! The Riddler sets off a toy turtle which blows up in the House of Mirrors, in the funhouse. David is dead in one fatal boom. The only thing remaining is his engagement ring from Alice. The only thing that remains is his seared skeleton with the engagement ring on his finger. The only thing remains is his dead body with his engagement ring on his left finger. That night, Batman arrives at the scene of the crime and notices the explosion that occurred. Batman asks what happened here, and Commissioner Gordon says that it could have been the Riddler. Batman says he stopped the Riddler murders years ago. He's then told that the Riddler escaped prison